Yo, what is up, guys? My name is IndespicableSwine, and today I'm going to be giving you guys a skill guide. Basically telling you the skills that are must-haves, the skills that are not must-haves, but great skills, decent skills, and so on. But disclaimer before we begin, if it's not in the must-haves category, this guide is mostly based off of opinion. So if one of your skills didn't make my guide, that doesn't mean it's a bad skill. This is just mainly my opinion based off my game experience. So without further ado, let's dive in. Let's start off with the must-have category. I only have one skill here, and hopefully you already know what this skill is. If not, it is the Mikiri counter. If you're not running this skill, you probably have brain damage. Yes, it's that serious of an issue. Not running this skill is literally doing a challenge run in itself. So many enemies and bosses do thrust attacks, and if you're not able to counter them for massive amounts of posture, then this game is going to be 2 times harder at least, which I don't think you want. Just get the skill, please. The next category on our list is the great skill category. I spent a lot of time trying to think of a different name, but that didn't really work out. I have 6 skills in this category, and we're going to start with Shinobi Eyes, which is in the Shinobi tree. This skill increases the Mikiri counter's posture damage, and I was considering putting it in the must-have category, but must-have means you have to have it, and you don't really have to have this skill, but not having it is also not a very good idea. The next skill is Ascending Carp in the Isshin tree. This skill increases your posture damage from deflections. Just like the previous skill, I almost put this in the must-have category because just read the description. I don't even think I need to explain why this skill is so good and why you're trolling if you're not running it. The next skill is Descending Carp in the Isshin tree. This skill increases the damage to an enemy's posture from all sources after a deflection. So basically, after you complete a deflection, your basic attack, any combat art will have more posture damage. This skill isn't as good as Descending Carp, but it's still a damn good skill and one that I definitely recommend taking. It's just an added bonus that really shouldn't be passed up. The next skill is Breath of Life Light in the Shinobi tree. This skill recovers vitality upon performing a death blow. The skill is just really good sustained for clearing enemies, farming, and just playing the game in general. It's more of a quality of life skill that is really strong in my opinion. Definitely grab this one. The next skill is Flowing Water in the Isshin tree. This skill reduces the amount of posture damage you take when being attacked by an enemy with a sword. There are so many enemies in this game with the sword that this skill is just really nice to have. I'm sure this skill doesn't need much explaining on why it's good, so we're going to move on. The last skill in this category is Ichimonji Double in the Isshin tree. This skill is the only combat art in this guide, which should say a lot about how good garbage combat arts are in this game, except for this one. It delivers 2 overhead sword strikes, which have a shit ton of poise and posture damage. It's the only combat art really worth taking in my opinion, although I didn't really use it much on my first playthrough. I've seen others use it for a good amount of bosses. The next and final category for this guide are the good/decent skills. Basically skills that don't suck and can be useful. I have 5 skills in this category, and we're going to start with Midair Deflection in the Shinobi tree. This skill, you know what, just read the name. It gives you a Midair Deflect. The skill has been pretty clutch for me at random moments in the game. While it's not a necessary skill, and I would definitely give the skills in the great category first, but if you have skill points left over, the skill is a nice pickup and can be randomly useful. The next skill is a Shinobis Karma body in the Shinobi tree. This skill increases the amount of spirit emblems that can be held by 1. This skill is more of a personal thing because getting this allows an extra use for firecrackers, but I think all of us here are firecracker spammers, and if you're not, you're just weird and need to get with the program. So if you don't use prosthetics, this is downright useless, but if you do, this is a good skill to have. The next skill is Suppress Presence in the Shinobi tree. This skill reduces an enemy's ability to perceive those who are in stealth. Stealth is godlike in this game, let's be real. Whenever we're faced with a mini-boss, we always get a cheeky little stealth death blow before the fight starts if possible. And some enemies are really hard to stealth death blows on, and this skill can help with that. It's definitely not a necessary skill because through my first playthrough I never even got it, but it is pretty useful, and if you have the extra skill points, it can be worth taking. The next skill on our list is Suppress Sound in the Shinobi tree. Surprisingly, this skill suppresses sound. If you want sound to be suppressed, take this skill. The last and final skill in this guide is Emma's Medicine Potency in the Prosthetic tree. This skill increases the healing effects of recovery items. I'm pretty sure you get one of these for free after killing a boss, but I could be wrong on that. Once again, this is another filler skill that only should be taken after you've gotten your key skills for your build. As for how much of a difference it makes, surprisingly it was actually quite a noticeable increase on healing, not even gonna lie. So I do believe that this is a solid skill. That about wraps it up for this guide. Once again, there are probably other skills that are good, and I'm not saying that they're bad. I'm just letting newer players know the necessary skills to your success in Sekiro. However, if you enjoyed, a like rating is much appreciated, and subscribe if you think firecrackers are balanced. Anyways, thanks for watching. Play me till the sun rises. Play me like a violin.